Just win, baby. 1-0, the final there. 7 innings, just 1 hit allowed, 4 strikeouts, and 1 walk. In his second start since missing basically a month, Joe, with that knee injury. That was very, very encouraging. Could we see that version of Logan Webb potentially the rest of the season? The version we've come to know and expect the last couple seasons when he finished first in Major League Baseball multiple times in innings pitched and runner-up in the Cy Young multiple times. That was vintage Logan Webb, and it was very refreshing to see. And they needed that win. They needed it. Yeah, it was really good to see for him on a variety of levels. It's probably the best he's looked. If you take the USA game out, it's probably the best he's looked in about a year, quite frankly. And what you saw was a good mix of getting ahead in the count, getting multiple pitches over for strikes early in counts, getting soft ground outs, which is the hallmark of his sinker, and then getting a lot of what I call end-of-the-bat pop-outs, fly-outs, things like that. And then mixed in no walks. You know, the one walk, that's what you want. I think this team, you know, you look at Robbie Ray, one of the things that's really done him in this year is not only the high pitch counts, but the amount of walks overall and how hard he's got to work. And when you fall behind in the count, you got to throw more bullets. And so it was really good to see. And this guy, Bericoto, you know, I'd like to see him play more. He's made a couple of really nice plays defensively in right field. He shows a lot of range. You look at his minor league numbers, there's a lot of power. And yesterday for him to hit that ball to right field the way that he did is like, whoa, do we have something here? And I'm very intrigued with him. So I thought it was a really nice day for the Giants. It was a really good bounce back. And back to Logan Webb, that's what an ace does. Goes out there, the team is hemorrhaging, and he goes like a superhero and uses whatever powers he has to stop the bleeding. Not only is the team hemorrhaging, the bullpen itself is hemorrhaging. Eric Miller gets in trouble every time he's out there. Yeah, and that didn't used to be the case with Eric Miller. He used to be one of your more reliable guys, but stop me if you heard this before. Reliable pitchers become unreliable in a Giants uniform. That's kind of been the theme this season so far. So it was really nice to see Mr. Reliable yesterday, Logan Webb, finally show up. The Logan Webb we've come to expect. And as you said, Joe, Bericoto, if I don't see him in the lineup today, because this has been the theme, right? Bryce Eldridge gets a home run, doesn't play the next day, right? You know, you see Eric Haas gets 2 home runs, doesn't play the next day. And then now Bericoto. I hope I see him today, but would you be shocked if you saw, I don't know, Drew Gilbert in his place? It's just, that's what I've come to expect, unfortunately, with the Giants team this season. But to your point, if we understand that this team is 14 games under, probably not going to go anywhere in the playoffs. I know it's June 4th, everyone. It could happen. It's allowed to happen. It's probably not going to. I want to see the young guys. The young, this is the whole point of the season, if you're going to be out of it, is the development of the young players and players that you need to find out are going to be here for the long haul potentially. And I would like to see if Victor Bericoto could be one of those guys, because I'm with you. I've been impressed not only with some of the at-bats, but the defense overall in the field. Like, could this guy push, I don't know, an Elliot Ramos if he comes back? I have no idea when Ramos is coming back. And I'm not a huge Ramos guy. I know you're not. Yeah. I just don't think he plays a brand of defensive baseball that this team needs. Like, they do. They need it. And I don't think his bat overcomes his glove for this team. Well, not only the glove, it's the base running. Yeah. There's a lot of mental mistakes when it comes to one Elliot Ramos that leaves Giants fans pulling their hair out. So it was refreshing, and it is refreshing to see Bericoto. And it's early. I don't know what this guy's going to be yet, but I would like to find out is what I'm getting at. And by the way, I want to let everyone know we are coming to you live from the Laughing Monk Studios. Laughing Monk, righteously brewed in San Francisco. It's Spadoni. It's Shasky. Good morning to all you lovely people just getting off work, getting ready for work, getting ready for summer vacation, graduation, all of that. Carter, Sam, and the Morning Roast is presented by San Francisco Fire Credit Union, banking for heroes and anyone who wants to be treated like one. Poor Chapman had another rough night. You know, there's some guys on this team that are just cold, like just really cold, you know, and I look at where Chapman's at right now, and, you know, he's 5 for 28. Casey Schmitt has really cooled off right now. 6 for 33 in the 8 Ks. Now, he hit the ball hard yesterday and didn't have a lot to show for it, so that's good. I look at Rafi Devers right now.
I mean, this guy's good for a strikeout and a half. Now, he was red hot during the month of May. The last couple days, it has cooled off precipitously. He's 6 for 29, 13 strikeouts. And yesterday, early in that game, you need this guy to drive the ball. You got Bryce Eldridge at third. It's a bases loaded situation with less than 2 outs.
Yeah.
You don't want to ground one over because that's double play status for Raffy. But you got to drive the ball, and you got to find something to elevate. And, he couldn't drive a fly ball far enough to score Eldridge. Eldridge isn't the fastest.
No.
And that's something we have to actually acknowledge, which is his swinging bunt for him to beat out was pretty interesting.
Was a hit.
But they need Devers to stay locked in. They really do. And so Chapman, Schmitt, Devers, not so great. Now, who is hot on this team? Well, Jung-Hoo Lee just stays hot. Got an 11-game hit streak right now. You got to feel really good about him. Bericoto obviously had a really nice at-bats yesterday.
310, Joe, Jung-Hoo. He's been 310.
He's having a good year. Yeah. And he's hitting the ball the other way. He's hitting the ball to the pull side. Yep. You're seeing a little bit of everything from him. So that's what I really like. Hitting with 2 strikes. Daniel Susac, 6 for his last 21. Willie Adames, 7 for his last 26. So those guys are hot. Those 3 I mentioned, Chapman, Schmitt, Devers, not so much. I mean, at any given time, you're going to have 3 or 4 guys killing it, 3 or 4 guys not killing it. So I like where they're at in the sense of I am seeing a team continue to fight. In a day like yesterday, where everything's gone wrong, you hand the ball to your ace, the whole team steps up, play sound defense, get a couple of timely plays, bullpen holds on for dear life, and you find a way to win a game. Like, let's go for the split today.
It's going to be very interesting to monitor this team for the next, 2 months. Obviously, it's August 3rd is the trade deadline. But for the next, month and a half, I'm very curious to see what this team's going to look like and who's going to step up, who's not, who's going to separate themselves, who's going to make themselves available potentially if they play themselves to become available. We've often said who? Luis Ariz, right? Probably going to be a trade candidate. Robbie Ray, right? He's going to be a rental somewhere. And I don't want to sound like, I want to trade every single really good player on the Giants or, players that we deem are really good. And this guy just had a no-hitter heading into the 7th yesterday in Logan Webb, and he's been an absolute stud for this team and franchise, and he's been a homegrown stud, which I think matters to a lot of Giants fans. But I was thinking, after the game yesterday where he gets the win, Joe, 7 innings, 1 hit, 4 Ks, I think a lot of Giants fans were holding their breath. We were doing the call yesterday, and we're like, he's probably going to get Matt Cain, isn't he? Like as soon as the first hit happened, I was like, please, for the love of God, can we get this guy some more run support? It didn't happen, but it had me thinking at the back of my mind. And then when the game was over, I was like, if Logan Webb keeps balling like this, and this is the version that we've come to expect again, do they receive some calls from other teams that are interested with this guy? That could he be the prize potentially of this trade deadline? It just got me thinking. It got me thinking if they're going to take the calls on him. You'll take the call, but will you accept some offers? I wonder. Do I sound like I'm hating after he just balled out like that?
You have nothing. In terms of starting rotation.
I know.
You got to have something for next year. You got to have something to build on. You have to have a veteran that other guys look at.
Sure.
I get your point. Overall, hey, you're going nowhere, so trade everything. But you have to have something that other people look to for leadership, for stability, for veteran know-how. I'm very reluctant to even exercise that.
I guess the only reason I bring that up is if there's going to be more wear and tear like we saw earlier in this season. He is going to be 30 years old this year, Joe.
He means more to you than whatever you think you can get on the open market.
Sure.
Is the way that I would put it.
If they do flirt with potentially trading him, though, wouldn't that signal hey, we think this guy might start, the wear and tear might start showing more and more on the other side of 30? Maybe.
Okay, Joe, even if that's the case, do you see who's pitching in this rotation?
I do.
Adrian Hauser and Tyler Mahle. So even a
Trevor McDonald
75% Logan Webb moving forward is significantly better than those guys. This isn't like football where only one guy can play quarterback.
Sure.
And you got to, fade someone to allow someone else to come in. There's 5 spots in the rotation.
I just thought it was interesting. We've talked to Bob Nightingale. I think John Heyman's talked about it, that a lot of teams, if not like every team that's going to be contending this year or feel like they could be a contender, they're going to want Logan Webb. Like that might be like some in what could be a down year in the trade deadline market for like elite starting pitching. He could be a prize.
Yes,
that's why I bring that up.
Would you also acknowledge that you're selling him at a low point for himself?
Well, my whole argument is if he continues this for the next 2 months, because the trade deadline's 2 months away. So he could re-garner some of that value.
But one thing the Giants have very little of in their farm system is pitching. And so you don't trade pitching, especially under team control for multiple years when you are a workhorse like Logan Webb. Like I understand where you're at, but you got to keep somebody. Like, we got to keep somebody.
Yeah, we're going to keep Eldridge. Yeah, we got Bryce. He's the guy.
I'm just reluctant.
I know.
I'm just reluctant.
We talked to Flem yesterday, and, Dave Fleming on the call, broadcaster on 95.7 The Game Giants Insider, and I asked him about, the starting pitching and, like, what's been going on in the development there. And, his whole thing and why we were talking about it, because Kyle Harrison, he's been balling, obviously, with the Brewers organization, came up with the Giants. His whole thing is like, well, people just they can't stay healthy. Like, so he was using like the injury excuse. Well, Harrison, he showed promise. He couldn't stay healthy. I was like, and they haven't used high draft picks recently on elite starting pitching, or there just haven't been guys available to them. Hell, if they had the number 1 pick in the Paul Skeens draft, I'm sure they would also have taken him. But
Dylan Cruz, a lot of people wanted Dylan Cruz.
Yeah. So, I mean,
they were teammates at LSU.
So they maybe just haven't been in the position to identify that early on in the draft, and we'll see this year what's going to happen. I know the UCLA kid, he wants to be the prize. What's going to go on? I have no idea. But I'm with you in that I probably am keeping Logan Webb. It just got me thinking, as a guy that's going to turn 30, where is this team going to be at in a couple years when he's going to be, are they going to be contending again when he's like 32, 33? I have no idea. He does have a really great contract too that is sexy around the league. He's making $23 million this year, $23 million next year, and then $24 million in 2028. So he signed through 2029. That's when he becomes an unrestricted free agent. It's a great contract. Great. So unless it's blowing you out of the water, that's the only way you would flirt with that.
If you didn't have like a Robbie Ray who's going to be a free agent,
yeah, okay,
maybe I'd understand your larger premise, but you do have Robbie Ray who can be traded, right? So trading Robbie Ray and Logan Webb, like who would be your guy next year?
Trevor McDonald and Landon Roop.
So Trevor McDonald, who has not pitched more than like 130 innings at any level in baseball, is going to eat up all of a sudden 190 to 210 innings.
You can revisit in the offseason and sign someone to a new contract. Get free agents in here.
So now we're going to go into free agency. We're going to overpay. Like Corbin Burns was overpaid, and now he's got another injury. Like they almost signed Corbin Burns. I wanted them to sign Corbin Burns, and they probably dodged a big bullet by not signing Corbin Burns. I mean, he has Tommy John. He's recovering from Tommy John.
And he gets hurt again.
And then he's got a lat injury.
I know. I said to the chat yesterday, it's brutal, but you can't predict the injuries when they happen. And, at the time I was with you. I think Sam was in agreement. Carter, I wanted Corbin Burns.
We all did.
It made sense. And now and see, this is the other thing that's frustrating too if I'm a Giants fan. And Sam brought this up, and it's a great point. The Corbin Burns injury could have ruined a team like the Arizona Diamondbacks. It could ruin a lot of teams, that injury.
A couple $100 million invested into one pitcher who pitches every 5 days.
Who you thought was going to be your ace, right? And I like Zach Gallen. He's been really good for them. Merrill Kelly's been really solid.
But Gallen sat on a 1-year deal this year for a reason.
For a reason, right? Corbin Burns would have been their ace. We're all in agreement of that. Yeah. But they're not skipping a beat right now. They're
Milwaukee had him.
Exactly.
Traded him. But Milwaukee has shown that they can develop pitching. Milwaukee has shown that they can replenish, like they did it with Willy Adames.
That's what I'm getting at is for the Giants, when they're having struggles with some of their players, they haven't been able to overcome those struggles because of the lack of development elsewhere.
I know.
So this is why teams like the Diamondbacks that are always contending, always flirting with the wild card spot. They were in the World Series a couple of years ago. Teams like the Brewers that we're seeing right now, they're always in the mix in the NL Central, like because of the development elsewhere. They're not relying solely on Christian Yelich to be the guy anymore after they signed him to that fat contract. No, they realize like, oh boy, we can't put all our ducks into one basket. We can't put all our eggs into one basket here. See, and teams like that do it different than teams like who? The Los Angeles Angels. And what have they built around Mike Trout? diddly-poo. They've relied on Mike. Hey, Mike, save us. Sorry, I know your back's giving out and all the wear and tear from carrying this franchise for the last decade, but can you continue to do it? I don't know. So the Giants are closer to a team like the Angels than a team like the Brewers right now.
Well, actually, who they are, they mirror the Red Sox.
Oh.
That's who the Giants mirror right now.
Oh, that's not good.
Well, I mean, they're a team that went through a dynastic run and has failed to, really get out of the cellar since.
Both of them kind of struggle with similar executives, too. Chaim Bloom, Farhan Zaidi were both kind of small market guys. Yeah, Breslow's going to get run out soon, former player there. Yeah, that's actually a very good comp. I think you bring up the Logan Webb trade. I think you got to be completely blown away by whatever offer you get for Logan. And you talk about who's your guy, Shasky, who's your starter after that. You're getting back a guy in that trade who I think can kind of assume that role. That has to be part of it.
So
I think it's
the only guy you've developed in the last decade from your rotation, you're going to trade away.
Oh no, I'm not saying
promise of someone else.
Trust me, I'm the Logan Webb stan. I don't want to see him traded at all. But if you're looking at it from the business perspective of it, and that a team I think has to call you up with such a stupidly good offer that you kind of have to say yes, but I'm not going to sit back and hold my breath for that, is what I'm saying.
I'm out.
Today I'm out on trading Logan Webb. If a ridiculous offer comes around, maybe I don't see that happening. I
consider everything because that's sports and life. You're bringing up development. I mean, look at the guy at second base, who most people probably don't know, Bryce Serang for the Brewers. He's 21st overall pick a couple years back. If I asked you, would you let this guy be your starting second baseman in year 2? His rookie year, he had 94 strikeouts. His rookie year, he batted .218. His rookie year, all right, the guy had an OPS of 585. They let him play 137 games at second base and then rolled him back the next year. Oh, and he's at 254 his second year. 142 hits. He doubles all his numbers. Oh, he really decreases the amount of strikeouts, per plate appearance. Sure. And then year 3, he has a breakout year, 288, and wins a Gold Glove. And then you look this guy today, he's their 3-hitter, batting .275. He's got 10 stolen bases. He's got 12 doubles. He's on pace for 150 hits. Puts the ball in play. Just a solid, good ball player, right?
Yeah.
Development is not linear. You're not just going to take off like a rocket ship. Sometimes you got to live and die with the ups and downs. And so whether we're talking about Bryce Eldridge, whether we're talking about Victor Bericoto, whether we're talking about young pitchers, I think as I look at the Brewers, one thing they are really good at is, hey, if you believe in a guy, you trot him out there, and even if he's batting .218 through 137 games of his rookie year, if you truly believe in him, you got to stay committed to him.
And that's why Giants fans have been so damn frustrated with the Bryce Eldridge, development of this last year.
Back in the lineup yesterday.
Absolutely. Let's keep playing him every single day. Why not?